Welcome to Rise Up in Business, the law podcast for small business owners. I'm your host, Tracy Milacrane. I'm a business lawyer, an entrepreneur, and very much a realist. Rise Up in Business is designed to share with small business owners important legal information and some clever tips and tricks in short and sharp episodes, no legal jargon. With this podcast, I want to empower small business owners to rise up and take control in their business. I'll be here every Wednesday to tell you exactly what you need to know without sending you to sleep. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to episode 1. I'm so excited to be recording this episode today. I wanted to start by sharing a little bit about my intention with this podcast. In life, I always approach something new with the concept of start with the end in mind. And I wanted to share with you my end in mind for this podcast. So a little bit of background to do that. I founded this business in early 2019 with the intention of adding real value to the lives of my clients. There are so many ways I have been able to do this, and this podcast is an extension of that. I spent the majority of my career practising in litigation and dispute resolution. So I spent loads of time in court and I was acting for people dealing with problems and issues when it all went wrong. So that was the tail end of a scenario. So I've seen it all. I've seen the pressure that the disputes and the frustration that brings. I've seen breaking down of marriages, stress, relationships, money, businesses fold, people lose their houses. I've seen it all. And it occurred to me through the course of that part of my career that there really is a better way to do things. I took some time away from practice in 2014 when my son was born, and we were lucky enough to have a daughter just under 2 years later. So whilst I was doing that and learning all about being a new parent and tackling life as a mum, I was teaching law at ANU. And that was an amazing experience for me because it opened my eyes to the concept of balance between life and a career. And that is not something that I'd experienced beforehand. So when I realised in early 2019 or late 2018 that both my children were going to be in school this year, I decided that that was the time to take a leap of faith and to establish my own business. I wanted to practice law my own way, and I wanted to help people the way that I wanted to. So I did that. I set up my business, I'm doing things the way I want to, and I've moved away from the traditional expectations that legal practice brings with you. So for example, the traditional office, the elaborate offices in the CBD somewhere where clients need to pay a fortune for parking to come and see you. It takes 30 minutes to get there. Then they meet you, then they leave, and before you know it, it's taken up half of their day to come and see their lawyer about something that's really important to them. I have designed and I operate a virtual practice, which means I act for clients all over the country. And I have not had one single client say to me since I started this business, I'm concerned about your location, or do I need to come and see you in person? Because let's face it, no one wants to be bothered with doing that anymore, certainly not the clients that I like to act for. My clients are more interested in quality advice in a really timely manner and knowing that I am there as a part of their team, as a trusted advisor moving forward. That's the part that sets my soul on fire. So in the context of my business, the rest they say is history. So here we are. My business is driven by my values. I very much stand for making decisions based on our values, and I believe that if we do that, we won't go wrong. So in my business and in this podcast, I aim to help people understand all the important legal things that they really need to know in a really practical and down-to-earth way. So I don't string clients along, I don't drag things out, I just get in, I work out what needs to be done, I get on and I do it. I collaborate with my clients, I don't dictate to them, we work as a team always, and when that happens, that's where I think the real magic is. I love what I do. I love working with clients who respect themselves enough to know that teaming up with advisors, such as their lawyer, is priceless for them to be able to move forward and kick ass in business. That's the background and the reasoning behind my business. And the intent of the podcast is to reach more people to be able to convey that legal information, which can sometimes be really complicated, let's be honest, really boring, really dull. It makes people's eyes glaze over. I aimed to distill it in a really clever way to cut to the core and convey it in a practical way that people get, they relate to, and then they know what it is that they need to do. So for me, it's all about empowering business owners to rise up and take control in their business. I believe that prevention is better than cure. So after spending all those years in my career dealing with litigation and dispute resolution in the courts and mediations, arbitrations, and those types of things, the concept of prevention is better than cure was never more real. So at the forefront of my intention in my business is to teach people what that means in terms of their business and operating their business, what that means for them and how they can apply that to significantly reduce their chances as much as possible of ending up in a dispute later down the track. So it's about risk mitigation, it's about strategy, it's about being really clever and informed and being proactive rather than reactive. So there's lots of keywords in there, I suppose, but it really does sit at the core of why I do what I do, and that is to help add value and teach people how to avoid needing a lawyer like me later down the track. I hope you enjoyed my introductory episode, and I very much look forward to bringing you more episodes in my new podcast very soon. That's it for today's episode. Short and sharp, just like I promised. If you liked the episode, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes, and I would be most grateful if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. As always, remember to keep your business legals in order with my Business Legal Strength Check. Grab your free copy by heading over to my website, tmsolicitor.com.au. I'll catch you next Wednesday. Thanks so much for listening.